Mirrors have a long association with magic, both stage magic and of course the esoteric arts. And today I'm going to use mirrors obviously for a binding. A couple of texts you may want to look into. The first by Scott Cunningham. There's Wicca, a guide for the Scott Cunningham, a guide for the solitary practitioner, and then a further guide for the solitary practitioner. Although anything by Scott Cunningham is thoroughly recommended by myself. Very practical, nice, useful little tips on more the folk magic side of things. And the other book I would recommend is by Donald Tyson, who tends to complicate things. How to make and use a magic mirror. If you want to make things a little bit more complicated, go with Tyson. If you want to keep things simple, start with Scott. And of course, a cup of tea. Now I need to warn you about this. At one point I used this particular working, or a modified version of it, on my ex, who at the time was causing me all sorts of grief with our children. I decided to bind her to a sin that I associated with her, and it probably worked a little bit too well, as things tend to happen. And I then had to do a warding spell to sort of bind her, or to ward her off from harming my children. So just a warning, these things do work. And be careful what you wish for, because you are just going to get it. And here's a question for the guys out there. Why do females always carry a compact with them? And here's a question for the girls. Why do you always carry a compact with you? There's always one of these little compacts in the handbag. I've got no idea why, but this could be the reason. Okay, you need a compact. Why? Because inside the compact there are two mirrors. You're also going to need a marker, a permanent marker, and I would recommend black. Unless you're using a particular intention, then you may want to change colours. You're going to need a candle. In this case I should be using green, but the only green ones I could find are ghastly little tea lights, and for this one you really need a taper. So I'm going to start with a white taper candle and plonk that there, and I'm going to light that up to get it started. Just put that out of the way a little. Ghastly green candles aside. A small swatch of fabric. And if I recall correctly, I actually dyed that fabric myself, possibly using wormwood. It's been used to wrap up lavender for some reason. I don't know why I need to wrap up lavender, but it smells of lavender. But wormwood is a fantastic little irritant if you want to use that, and it makes a fantastic dye. And the last thing I need is some sort of twine, which I find essential for so many things.